All right, so I am just getting back from picking up one of my sons, and I've got to go get my other son in a few minutes. So I'm going to go do that. I'm just going to give you a review of my take of LifeMark. I thought it was a very good movie. I thought it needed to be made. It's a very pro-life message. I think it takes adoption out of the dark more with kids who have felt like, they're not good enough, or they're not like a real kid. They're an adopted kid. They don't have like real parents. This movie puts a lot of that stigma that we've had throughout the years about adopted kids into a light. I mean, we are all adopted if we're Christians. We're God's kids. He adopted us. Christ died for us, and that's how we become his. So I think they did a great job on the adoption thing. As far as the abortion story, this is based on a true story. I think back years ago, I have not done the research. I don't think the abortion scenario was quite like that. I don't know how old this woman is. So I'm going to have to research this as far as the facts. I mean, as far as I know, people were not real loving on the sidewalks on this part of the movie, unless of course she's younger in this story, which I have a feeling the story is an older story. But they were not real loving at the fence, from what I understand, thinking of people saying, don't, you murderer and stuff is what women used to hear. So I'm not sure where that lines up in history. I'll have to check that, like I said. As far as being in the doctor's office, it's very accurate how this actress portrayed this. And that kind of hit hard today for me, because it brought back the memories of a forced abortion for me. Looking at the tray, the silver tray full of tools that the doctor uses to abort, I would say is true. I'm trying to remember which tools I saw exactly. No doubt about the forceps. Cold, definitely a cold room, very cold. Cold, very sterile, very unwelcoming. I don't remember. When I was raised, I wasn't brought to the doctors much at all. So you do have that sterile memory, but not like at an abortion room. It's much more, just the whole atmosphere is cold. So I could relate with that. Let me think what else. Oh yeah, the stirrups. The stirrups was a big one. Just put your feet in the stirrups. The doctor puts on gloves. Very cold mannerism. I could relate to that very well. It's kind of like, here's your gown, get dressed, put it on, put your stirrups, put your feet in the stirrups. I think they had pink for the stirrups, like pink little stockings, if I remember right, with the abortion I had. And it's funny, because growing up as a teenager, I used to like to wear the little short socks because they look cute, the little ankle socks. And so they have these socks, and it covers the stirrups, and you're to put your feet in them. They don't tell you what they're going to do. I mean, you get more at a dentist appointment of what's going to happen. Nowadays, especially, they tell you everything they're going to do before it comes at you. So that was really true. And the thing that hit me, I think, a little harder was when they had her lay down. And as she laid down, she made a choice to get back up and say, I can't do this. I did not have a choice. It was a done deal. The decision was made by the adults. It was just a done deal. Papers were, thrown at me basically to sign. Don't read it. And it was a psychological, forced abortion, just like, you are going to do this kind of thing. And my mother stayed there to make sure it was done, and then she left me after it was done. But yeah, so I didn't really think I had a choice, and I don't know how many girls feel like they really had a choice. We talk about abortion as choice. It's not. it's not. You are trapped and you feel like, people are, one way or another trapping girls. I know for me, I was very angry at feeling pressured about my boyfriend using a condom. I didn't think it was, I did question it. And the condom broke, and that pressure, looking back, that's not really love. That's just, pressuring a guy, being selfish and pressuring you into what he wants. So I was so ticked off. I was stuck in that emotion. And then my mother offered a solution, because I didn't even know what an abortion was. She somehow, the word abortion was mentioned. She dragged me to my boyfriend's. We had no private conversation like on this movie. They talk about things. They make a decision together. There was no real decision-making process. So it was just a done deal, and this is the way it was going to be. Problem, solution. Not even like you're pregnant or you're having a baby. So from there with the movie, I also, thinking about when I went to OBGYN, when I was brought there, I barely remember. I mean, I was tuned out. Because it's a crisis, okay? So you're not even, life is not normal when you're in that situation. I barely remember seeing some people from a distance on the sidewalk, like no fence or anything. They were just out there I think handing something out. I don't know. My mother blocked everybody from my view, so they could not talk to me. I don't really remember like really engaging with even seeing, really what they were doing. And in fact, after the abortion was over, a couple years later, we went shopping in Concord, and there were people on the side of a corner of a highway, and I said, "What's that? What are they talking about? Like, what's an abortion? Like, I had no idea that I even had an abortion. I just thought I was going in for a medical procedure. On the papers, they called it a D&C. I knew that I was no longer pregnant, and that's about it. And I didn't understand all the technicalities of everything. So in the movie, she got up. She chose to not go through with this, and I actually felt helpless again. I felt like, oh my goodness, like almost like I couldn't breathe again. Like I wish I could have got up. I wish I could have done something. And after the movie, there was this lady in the bathroom, same time as me, and I said to her, what did you think of the movie? And she was telling me, and I said it kind of hit home for me with a forced abortion. And they were Christians. I went out with her and her husband, and they were Christians, and she said, it wasn't your fault. You were forced into it. It was not your fault. And I think we need to remember that, even when we are healing at pregnancy centers, and they have curriculum that says, what part was your choice? What part was your choice? That pressure. I don't know. What part was my choice? I was a kid. So, talking to them, and then the husband saying, God is good. Yes, he is. And I shared that he has given me 5 sons, and he has been very good to me. So I guess the thing that I always feel after I see something and I cry about abortion, the healing process is extremely painful. Extremely painful. Even hearing other women share their stuff is painful. So crying, getting it out, and I'm not a crier. I just have learned to hold myself together, my emotions together, to be kind of like a rock emotionally. I don't know why. I was thinking about this the other night, like when I shared at a church about the forced abortion and then the post-abortive class. There was a lady in the pew crying, and she just cried and cried, and I did much better this time. I was stronger sharing. I didn't kind of fall apart like before when I shared at a church. I got stronger. But I had to, I don't know. I just guess I feel like I have to be strong, and I cannot always, show my emotions. And even being on that table while they were aborting my baby, I was just staring at a space on the wall. I don't know. So, you know, I guess I've been taught not to cry. So, there's been a few times in life I've cried, and this whole class, all I'm doing is crying, this whole class, which is good because you're getting in there and you're healing. And then what comes out of that is I felt a renewed thankfulness for my kids. I mean, I picked up my first ride today to pick up my son. And I just so enjoyed the ride with him and appreciating him even more and thanking God again for giving me my sons. Just so appreciative. And that, you know, when I first had my firstborn son, all I wanted to do was be a good mother. It was really a strong passion in me to be a good mother. And I wanted to be the best mother around because of that abortion, because I had that forced abortion. It made me want to be a good mother even more. So again, just, you know, healing some more and renewing that motherhood and being thankful for what you have. So I've got to run and get my other son, and you know, healing is so healthy. So if you haven't healed, I would just encourage you to get into a center, pregnancy center, and heal from it. And as you do, you start emotionally healing so much too that you grow in your maturity. So even my kids look older to me. Recently they look older because I don't know, because I feel like I'm healing from that teenage stage of my life even more. The trauma of just when you have trauma, it stops everything. It blocks your memories of quite a bit, and it's how the body heals. It's how you can go on. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Recommend this movie. Very good movie. You probably need three or four tissues to watch this, but excellent job.